Hey, what's shaking out there? Over there, in there, wherever. I thought I'd go over a little, I don't know what you'd say. It's not really a trick. It's just a thing. It's a thing to do while you're, doing some metal work, while you're trying to bring low spots out, put high spots down. You can't always feel it. You can't go by your mitts all the time. I know guys that think that they're magic. They're digits. No, you're not there. Can feel absolutely everything. And a lot of them guys that think they're the best out there, when it comes to actually feeling something, they couldn't feel a double D in a wool sweater. So that ain't it. Here's something, especially on these cars. These darts, I mean, they're a flat car. They're the plains of Mopar down the sides. So I have one of these. I don't know how big it is. Actually, I had to cut a hunk off the end of it just so it would fit in my toolbox, and my toolbox storage is that big. But, so it's an aluminum straight edge. It's pretty pointy on that end, but it's a little heavier and a little thicker on that end. So that gives you, it's not flexing, I guess is what I'm getting at. So what I'll do is I'll take it, stick it right up against your panel. On the door, the doors are flat. These Dodge fenders, once you get about 3/4 of the way up, they do tend to curve in gradually, a little bit. But from about here back, it's flat. So you put this up there. You don't even got to look at it. Take it at either end. You hear that? I ain't tap dancing. I don't know if you can see it, but you can hear it. Let me keep doing it, or is that enough? My wife would roll her eyes and walk away right now. So anyways, while you're doing that, oh yeah, see, and I got another one here too. For smaller areas where this gets in the way, same gauge. So anyway, you throw that up there, and what you're hearing is the flat spot it's rocking on a high spot. So it's out. I can demonstrate on here. So you're putting it there, and it's rocking back and forth. That's exaggerated. Doesn't make the same noise, but that's what's happening. So you can look at it while you're doing that. You can figure out that it's right about there is where it's rocking. And yeah, you can kind of feel a bit. So if you want to knock that down, don't forget where it is. You want to put something behind the metal, but if you're doing hammer and dolly work, if you're doing something like this where you're trying to take a high spot down, you don't want to be just reefing on it. You just want to lightly hold the dolly back there to give the panel support around, I guess, the high spot that you're trying to bring down. So just put it on the back. Doesn't take much. Put her back on. See? A little bit, but now it's on to the next one. Right? That was back here. Now I can see we're rocking up here. So, same gig. Keep your eye on the ball. And you just keep on doing that. This is the stuff they don't show you on the TV shows. They don't show you guys sitting there, they glaze by it, and you don't know that some dude spent 7 hours sitting there on a fender, pulling it out, shrinking it in, doing the metal work on it. If you've got kind of a fender that isn't the plains of Mopar, I have another straight edge. As you can give her that business. So like up here where the fender curves, you put it on a side like this, well you can put a curve in it, and you can hold her down. This is more of a visual deal though, because now you got to kind of look and see, are you flat, or You know what I mean? You got to look for your void behind it. But on a vehicle that has some curves, I mean, you can use that. But wait, there's more. Now, I did see this on a TV show, and I never even thought of this before. But I seen where they took a little string. And I mean, this works too. And I've done this on the quarter panels on this car, and what I did was I took a magnet, like one of them arrowhead welding magnets, stuck her one end, and stretched her out, and you get over and you have a look, and the string is going to glide along the high spots, right? So then you'll have a valley underneath the low spots. Where this came most in handy, though, was, what it came most in handy, though, was a lot of times when you're hanging your sheet metal, your doors and fenders and such, you can get them so they're good here, but then if the front of your fender is kicked out a little much, or if maybe your door's in a little much, and then you set your fender on to meet your door, it's hard to tell if you got your straight down the side of the car. So you can take your string like a chomp. Here, I'll just give her one of these. And then if you got a long enough string, just ask your wife if your string's long enough. She'll lie to you. You can go down the side of the car. Can you hear me? You can go down the side of the car, and now when you're going past the panels, you can see if either you're catching the string and there's a void, or if there's a void at the panels. And if your string ain't tight from the fender to the door, well, you know you're in too far. So you adjust them, bring them out a little bit until your string is tight, until it's tight right down the side of the car. See what I'm saying? That's actually a thing I seen on one of them TV shows that made sense, and I never done that before, but I do it now, and it works good. Do you guys watch TV shows? I watch some of them. Some of them are a little... I want my hammer back. Yay! Some of them are a little out there, some of them are... There's not very many that are realistic. I kind of liked... what was it called? There was one called Phantom Works, I think. I think that's what it's called, Phantom Works. Anyways, the part I liked about the show, you know, the shows, they're all scripted, they're all bullshit. But this particular one, at the end of the show, something that nobody else does on the shows, was the dude running the show, the joint, he sat down with the customer at the end in an office and said, we got 320 to 1,317, we got 5,000 hours into your car, we got $80,000 worth of parts into your car, your final bill is $195,682. Are you good with that? And the customer always says, yeah, I'm good with that, let's go look at my car. But that's one of the few shows where at the end of the show, he sat down and said, your car just cost 200 grand. Are you divorced yet? But I mean, if you can't do the work, this kind of stuff, you can bolt a motor together in a day. I've done it. I've done everything. I haven't rebuilt an automatic transmission. I've rebuilt my own 4-speed transmissions. I've set up rear ends. I've set up the lash and the gears and the preload on the bearing. I've laid a crank in a block. I mean, you can't put the pistons on the rods, but yeah, I've lapped in valves. I've set carburetor. I've done all that, everything that you can do, pretty much, and all of it is faster and easier than all this. I didn't just dent that, it's wood. All of that is faster and easier than all of this shit, because you will not spend 87 hours bolting a motor together. And everybody has a 1/2 inch, a 9/16, a 5/8, and an 11/16 socket, so you can do it. Especially if you get your machine work done somewhere where they do good machine work, and you can just bolt her together. But yeah, they don't cover that very often, because nobody wants to talk about the ridiculous cost in cars. And a lot of those shows, if it's the big time show, it's not a real customer. Either the network is pitching in to build the car, and at the end of the show, the shop owns the car. Because a lot of those shows where it's for a customer, they sell it, they auction it, whatever, you watch another episode of that show, and there's the goddamn car in the background up on a hoist. They did a green truck a month ago. Well, now they're working on a red Camaro. In the background up on a hoist, there's a green truck you can see underneath the car cover that's done. That's because it's their truck now. I don't know what they do with it. It'd be a hell of a thing. And they don't do them as fast as, you can't do it in a couple of weeks. I don't care if you got 37 guys working on it. If you build a car in a matter of 2 or 3 weeks with your 37 guys working on it, something going on there's shitty. Something's going to fall apart in a month. Door panel's going to fall off. Something's going to happen. The seats don't work in it. The windows don't actually work. Something's wrong with it because you can't do it that fast. And if you are doing it that fast, you're missing shit. Yeah. So there. But yeah, like I say, they don't show you this kind of stuff. Tap dancing again. Where you just gotta find it, and you just do it. It's just... it's time consuming, and you go back and forth, and back and forth, and back and forth, and back and forth. I'll hang panels in the car. So like this thing. Hang on. In there, holy hell. So it's like this thing. I've had the doors on and off a few times, and I think every time I put the doors on, I tweak them just a little bit from where they were. Like I got it marked, I got it taped, whatever. For final, usually what I'll do is I'll drill an 1/8 inch hole somewhere behind the bolt head, through the hinge into the car, and then when you hang the panel, when it's all painted, because I paint, 90% of the time I paint cars in pieces, and then I assemble the painted pieces by myself. There's a whole lot of soiled underwear involved. But what I'll do is, points where you can't see them, I'll bore a little 1/8 inch hole through it, and then when I go to put it back together again, I'll take an 1/8 inch Allen head, or Allen wrench, you know what I'm saying? Wiggle it in through the hole, then you know that your adjustment and your gapping, you're gonna be 90% there. You kind of got to factor in for the thickness of primer, sealer, and paint, because, it changes it. I seen a show with, I think it was Chip Foose doing one, and it was an old hot rod, and they were doing a windshield on an old 30s Ford, and he laid a couple layers of masking tape down on the bare car to duplicate the paint and primer and stuff to make sure that his gaps were close. That's not a bad idea. That's not bad. He's one of the guys that kind of does some real work. Anyways, like I was saying, this is how it starts. You got to start somewhere, and you got to start with the silver stuff. That's a small line there, so I'll take that flat edge, put her on there. Back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And then when you get to the point to where you're happy with it, like, I've already been doing this for a while, so this is pretty close. Then you'll start doing the final body work on it. But you gotta start, the better your steel is, the easier everything else is. You can't roller skate in a buffalo herd. Whatever that means, I don't know. The better your metal work is, the easier that it's gonna be from the metal work up. I need to shave. Yeah, I guess that's about it. I don't know, I'm gonna keep doing this. And on the door, I got it on a stand over there, and I got some body work cooking on the door over there that, we already showed you that. You don't give a shit about that anymore. Probably just think I'm butchering it up. If anybody ever wants to comment on this stuff, where the hell did that go? If anybody ever wants to comment on, I read them. I can't comment on a lot of the YouTube videos that I watch because I watch them on TV, sitting on the couch, with some cheesy poofs or something. But feel free, and if you got a pointer for me, the day you're not learning is, well, it's an easy day, isn't it? But yeah, I guess, like I said, that's about it. That's, like I said, I just wanted to go over, like, bridging the high spots with the straight edge, and doing the hammer and dolly and hammer and dolly and hammer and dolly and hammer and dolly, monotone, you know, that's the way it goes. So that's what you got to do. In the end, stuff's nice. Pretty slow going when it's just me. If there's 5 other guys doing this, then, you know, we could paint this thing next week and you could look at paint, but you're not looking at paint. You're not looking at paint for a while. Because it's just me here, so. Anybody got a new knee? I need a new knee. Toe knee needs a new knee. Thank you. See ya. Cut.